Alright, so today I want to take some time and talk about some of the things that I really want to see in Pokemon Legends ZA, as far as changes from previous games, upgrades, or just things I want to see in the games that we either haven't seen before, or like things that I think can be improved upon, you know what I'm saying? Some of the things that I think can make these games really, really great. Just overall, just things that I enjoy that I think would do well in this game. But with that, let's go ahead and get started with the top 5 changes that I want to see for Pokemon Legends ZA. Right off the bat, we need to talk about one of the main things that makes a Pokemon Legends game a Pokemon Legends game, and that is of course the quests. So obviously the idea of doing quests was kind of a new thing for Pokemon Legends Arceus, and we can definitely expect them to return for Legends ZA. In an open world game like Legend of Zelda or Monster Hunter, there's obviously always going to be quests that kind of tie into the main story or just side quests in general. And even though I think that Legends Arceus did a pretty good job of the quests, a lot of them were definitely repetitive. A lot of them were simply, catch this Pokemon and show it to me, or go deliver this for me, or can I see this, you know what I mean? Well, I do think this is okay for like the majority of the story to kind of have like repetitive quests. I do think as far as like post-game stuff goes, I think there definitely should be a little bit more variety within the quests. I really think that one thing that could really kind of tie into this would just be like a better crafting system overall, just kind of like opening up crafting more. Obviously, again, this was a new concept with Legends Arceus. It's definitely something I can see them expanding more, just giving us more items that we can craft and just more ways that we can craft. And there's definitely other ways to make quests more interesting too, make some tougher ones. A lot of people like to go shiny hunting, right? So maybe have some quests that involve shiny hunting in some kind of way. Just different things. Like there's so many different things kind of in the Pokemon universe in different games that we can kind of tie into like having quests. But a lot of that is going to come down to the core gameplay itself and what they decide to do with this game. Obviously, Legends Arceus was a big first step in a whole new direction. I really think they're going to be able to take what they did in the first game and kind of just expand, what's possible in this game. Once you do that, it's going to open up the door for so many different quests. And as I mentioned earlier, I talked a little bit about the post game. This kind of brings me to my next point. I want to talk about the post game and the battle system. I honestly wasn't that big of a fan of the battle system in Legends Arceus, as most people were not a huge fan of it. I appreciate they tried something new, but in my opinion, it didn't really work out as well as I thought it would. I really kind of got bored with it, like a lot of other people. It kind of felt random at times. I really wasn't a huge fan of it. And I think because they decided to go that direction with the battle system, I think it kind of took away from like the battle aspect as far as the post game goes. It kind of gave people a feeling of, you just got to grind for Pokemon, to complete the dex. And then once you do that, the game's kind of over. There's nothing else to really do in the game. And honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if they went with the traditional battle system. But I would appreciate them, exploring something new as well. I'm okay kind of with both. A lot of people have kind of speculated from the trailer that we are going to get some kind of new battle system like PvP, or just something kind of different from anything before. Now, how exactly would that tie in with the post game? Well, the thing is, like I said, I feel like the battle system was kind of bland in Legends Arceus, right? I think if they have a really good battle system, no matter what direction they go, as long as it's a really good battle system that like kind of gives you that traditional battling, right? Like something that people really enjoy in the Pokemon series. I think there's a lot of different ways you can go about the post game. And obviously, if they're going to stick with the kind of single player game here, I definitely think that they could include something like a battle tower, battle factory, battle frontiers, stuff like we've seen in Emerald. Something where it's really fun to battle and you get rewarded for grinding it out. Like it's something that's like repetitive in a good way, something like that. I think the reason why people either hated or loved Legends Arceus was probably because of the battle system. It wasn't really something that like was the primary focus of the game, and a lot of people kind of felt like all you did was catch Pokemon and there was nothing else to it. And then the people that really enjoyed the game really loved it because of the catching aspect, because of how different it was, because all we've ever done before that was really just press the A button and catch Pokemon like that. I think really taking the things that worked in Legends Arceus, like in my opinion, was the catching system, and combining that with the really good battle system, I think that will kind of combine together to create the perfect game. And the third thing I want to talk about is just quality of life buffs in general. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about just the basic things that make the game better for you and better for everybody. One of those things being the inventory space. I don't know how many times I found myself like running back and forth between cities and like, going to my area here and having to look through my inventory and go through this chest and do all that. Like I kind of hope that they give us a little more free range. They either increase our inventory or just make it more readily available. For quality of life, I'm kind of just looking for those little things that we get with every single Pokemon game. I'm talking about the small things like, back in the day when you had your running shoes and you had to hold B to use them, and then over time it just became an automatic thing. I'm talking about those types of things. These are the little things that I'm talking about. With Scarlet and Violet, we really got access to a lot of the little things that were missing from previous games that really just made the game better. Even though Scarlet and Violet as a game doesn't run great, we definitely added a lot of features that work well for Pokemon. Go ahead and take some of those features, add it into some of the good features from Legends Arceus, and then give us some more stuff on top of that. Give us a game that runs smoothly and, just feels great. And speaking of running great, now we need to talk about looking great, and this takes me to my fourth point. I want this game to look amazing. I'm tired of getting Pokemon games that are super buggy and super laggy and just look bad overall. Like, why does a game like Breath of the Wild look way better than a game like Legends Arceus, which came out like 4 or 5 years later? You're giving us a second Legends game in the year 2025, confined to one Lumiose city. I really hope it looks good. Go ahead and get rid of the non-interactive NPCs that we saw back in X and Y that just kind of walk around like through characters. Don't make every wild Pokemon like just repetitive and do the exact same animations every single time. Make them a little more interactive with the environment and with each other and just everything in general. I really feel like the Kalos region is something that like we haven't gotten to really see it so well, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the first 3D Pokemon game we ever got, and obviously, you know, it has its flaws because it's the first time in the 3D world, right? But a lot of the art, a lot of the concepts from Kalos just look really, really nice, or they think it might look nice, but we haven't really seen it yet. Really hoping that this game takes those concepts and that artwork from X and Y and really turns it into something beautiful that we can all really enjoy. And at number 5, and probably the most important to me, I want some creative catches. I want some more backstory on the Megas and why those Megas were chosen. I just want more of that in general. When you look at the list of Mega Evolutions, you might kind of look at it and wonder, why do these Pokemon have Mega Evolutions? What classifies these Pokemon from the other Pokemon that gives them the special, you know, power to have a Mega Evolution? When you look at the pseudo-legendaries like Garchomp or Salamence, you might wonder, why do these Pokemon have Mega Evolutions over something like Dragonite? Or what about a Pokemon like Mega Audino or Sableye or Mawile? Like, we really kind of don't know with a lot of these Pokemon, and a lot of them kind of just feel like they were randomly chosen over other Pokemon. I'm really hoping we get a lot of backstory with the Megas that are available in this game, and I really think that's where quests are going to kind of tie into it. It's kind of funny how this whole list kind of works together, but I definitely think that there are going to be direct quests like for each specific Mega Evolution. It kind of gives us that background about that Mega. So like, for example, if there's like Mega Sudowoodo in the game, right, we're going to have quests directly about Mega Sudowoodo that's going to kind of lead us to that Mega Stone or just the Mega Pokemon in general, and we're going to learn a lot about the backstory behind it. And I'm really hoping there's different ways that they tie in creative catching with all of this kind of stuff, and by that I mean, like, you know, in the past Pokemon games, right, like stuff like Red and Blue, there was Snorlax, and how did you catch Snorlax? You had to play the Pokeflu before being able to catch it. And then there's like the Regis, like an Emerald, where you have to do all the crazy nonsense to go catch the Regis. I just hope that they really make each Mega feel unique and kind of tie in why they belong in this game. And realistically with this list, I feel like it's not asking for too much. Like, I think a lot of these things we might actually get. I think the game is going to look better. I think it's going to run better. I think we are going to have some kind of different battle system from the last Legends game. And I do think we're going to get quests that really tie into the Mega Evolution. As far as the post-game stuff goes, with like a battle tower or like a battle frontier, I really don't think we're going to get that. But hey, who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us. They surprise us with this announcement of the game. So really anything is possible when you think about it. But all that being said, let me know in the comments how you think this game is going to go, what you're expecting to see that's going to be different. Did you enjoy the first Legends game? I know some people did, some people didn't. I personally love the game. You know, I think there's definitely some improvements that can be made. I think we're definitely going to see a lot of those improvements, as well as some things that maybe not everybody's going to enjoy. And of course, if you're a fan of Pokemon or Smash, or you randomly clicked on this video for absolutely no reason, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. I say it every video, but we are getting closer and closer, and especially when you subscribe to the channel. And other than that, I've got nothing else for you guys. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will catch you all in the next video.